I thought the Cornell play really smart. They took the shot clock down. I think they made 3 at the buzzer, and really did a good job in terms of controlling the tempo, getting the ball down. Their matchup gave us some problems. I thought, you're going to, like any zone, you got to make some shots. We had some really good looks, and when you don't make those, then it's, they do a great job of getting 5 guys back in the lane, so you're not getting many rebounds offensively. So again, you got to make some shots in those situations. I thought Quincy, in the second time there, I thought he did some really solid things. Our interior defense wasn't good. They got in the high post and drove it. We've got to be able to defend that better. I thought we did a pretty good job on their shooters for the most part, but Jimmy got in the lane, and when he gets in there, that's where he's really good, and he got to the foul line. Both our centers have to play better. Jesse was completely out-quicked, got out-physicaled, and that can't happen. He said something about it. He's used to playing outside. Not too many 7-footers play outside over here. You either get it done inside or we'll go in a different direction. We got a lot of work to do, and hopefully, this is what this time period is. We're far from anywhere close to a finished product.
Welcome to the Cuse Militia Podcast with those two unapologetically biased, orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
What's up, Cuse Nation? Thanks for tuning in to the Cuse Militia Podcast with Sean and Joe. If you like it, please share it. The universal handle for the socials is @Cuse Militia. Go there, join the militia. We are the only Syracuse sports podcast centered around giving you, the fans' voice. Welcome. Happy Thursday. Thirsty Thursday for Joe.
Thirsty Thursday. No.
Yes. Well, for me, I'm thirsty. And also, it is Friday Eve. Both of those things are true. So,
I'll take it.
Anyway, yeah, absolutely. Well, Joe, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And Syracuse turned up the second half, put away Cornell 72-53. We'll go over that. And the Orange will host Bucknell on November 23rd at 12 noon, high noon. And that, I think, is going to be on ACC Network, which means you can probably watch it on your phone.
Yay!
Because that's what that's been doing. Okay? So, it was revealed that Jalen Carey, before the Cornell game, Jalen Carey, he will go undergo surgery Friday to an injured right thumb. The coach said he didn't know if it really had any effect at all on his playing, but now is the time to do it, and he will likely seek a medical red shirt because it's going to take about 8 to 10 weeks to recover. So,
timing is great on this, huh?
It's a little peculiar. So,
well, I mean, we can start by saying, number one, it's not a fake injury.
Well,
I mean, you're not going to have
obviously
surgery,
not.
obviously, on something that there's obviously a problem, right?
Absolutely. Sure. And it's just...
No, there's going to be rumblings, there's going to be speculation, and we're not going to know until anything is obviously is announced, but I don't know if you make... I
was rooting for... You're where I'm at. I was rooting for Jalen Carey. I was rooting for Jalen Carey so hard. And it's just the talent is there. I just don't know what it is. That maybe his right thumb is having issues. Maybe that's why he's fumbling the ball. I don't know. But look, here's the thing. There were some weird things going on social media, and I can't even verify this. This is just I've seen screenshots of him scrubbing some of the Syracuse basketball stuff from his bios on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah.
So, and to be honest with you, I don't really check bios unless someone's coming on the show. You know what I mean? I don't really look at bios. But So I never,
No, but
I
it's
never
all
noticed
kind of
it.
over social media. So I mean,
Right, and there's screenshots.
if you're in any parts
so.
of groups of Syracuse sports, then you're probably going to see it or have seen it at this point. So
Right, exactly. So, and we didn't bring it up last time because I just didn't want to get into the weeds with it. But then this happens,
Right.
and I feel like we should bring it up because that's where people start to speculate. Like,
Yeah.
oh, what's going on? And people start, then the rumors start and the conspiracy theories start. So with this happening, awfully convenient. We still don't know what's going on. 8 to 10 week recovery.
Again, I mean, I'm not going to go off of speculation and hearsay. So the way I kind of look at it, personally, I look at it like if it was good enough for him to start the season, then to pick a time now, maybe it's just one of those things where the writing was on the wall and he figured just get it fixed, get a red shirt or a medical red shirt. But until hear any news or anything else comes out, I'm just going to assume that he had the injury and they decided
Now's the best time to
try
do it.
to try to see if he could play through it and how it would look, and if it did affect his play, then he was going to go ahead and get it fixed. And that's kind of how I'm going to go with it right now until I hear anything otherwise.
That's the only way to go with it, right, Joe?
Unless you want to speculate.
Well, but we don't speculate here. And when we do, we preface our speculation with we're speculating, and it means nothing. So anyway, for what it's worth, that's out there. And we're just passing information along. I'm sure all of you already know all this anyway.
Right.
But it's fun to talk about, I guess. So anyway, all right, we're gonna get into the Cornell post game and the Bucknell preview. But first, as always, we're gonna start the show off today by talking about Manscaped.com, Joe.
No.
I've been mentioning the No Shave November thing because Joe finally manned up and got some facial hair. And then, now, it's still November last time I checked, guys, right? November 21st. Yeah, so there's still days left. But here's Joe with looking like a 12-year-old again. So
hey, look. There's still something there.
What happened?
Oh, man.
What happened?
Look, it was itchy, and I had to do a presentation at work, and when I just looked at myself in the mirror, it wasn't right.
You weren't presentable?
No.
I told you
I guess that's where I need that Manscaped kit,
Yeah, but Joe, how many times do I have to tell you, brother? That doesn't go on your face. It does not go on your face. The mower 2.0.
Joe, you said Joey said that one blade was for your face.
Oh, that's the plow. You want to take the plow to it? Take the plow to it. Take the plow to it. That's a double-sided straight razor. That comes in the kit. Get the spritzel for the schnitzel. That comes in the kit. The toiletry bag. You get the cologne. You get the mower 2.0 with the charger. Now, the mower 2.0 has skin-safe technology, so it won't nick or snag anything below the belt there. And so now you don't have to worry about any accidents. It's waterproof. It's rechargeable. Bring it in the shower with you. Rinse it off. Dry it off. Charge it up when you're done. And also you get the moisturizer. It's like a ball moisturizer. Okay? Look, I don't know, man. I don't know. It comes in the kit, okay? You get all this with the toiletry bag. All you've got to do is go to manscaped.com and use the promo code armchair. Now listen, I don't know how much longer they're going to be around. Don't know how much longer Manscaped's going to be with us. Sometimes these promos don't last very long. So, get the 20% off and free shipping. Use the promo code armchair at manscaped.com. Use the right tools for the job. Again, manscaped.com. 20% off, free shipping. Use the promo code armchair. Manscaped, thank you for sponsoring this show and Armchair Media. Thank you. So, anyway. I love the beat. You love the beat? It's a good beat, right? It's good, right?
I like it. It's
catchy. I love it.
What show you steal it from?
I didn't steal it from a show.
Oh, okay.
But I definitely stole it. Because obviously I'm not making this.
Obviously.
So, anyway, I can't say. I can get in trouble.
Right.
Syracuse would enter the locker room at the half up by 1, 26-25. They shot 35.7%. Coming out of the locker room, though, they would work the ball inside more, eventually score 47 points in the second half to solidify the win, shooting 60% in the second half from the field. Both of those percentages are from the field. The Orange sit at 3-1, 0-1 in the ACC after winning the 125th meeting between these two teams. That makes 40 straight, by the way. And it stayed close for a bit. It was 44-41 after some free throws by Jimmy Boeheim. And then Sidibe fouled out. He had fourth foul, took him out of the game. Gary A came in, and he went on an 8-0 run all by himself, all by his lonesome, right off the bench. One of those shots actually was his first three-pointer, so that was good to see. Get that off of his chest there. Gerard set high expectations in his first start last game with 24 points against Cornell, but against Cornell he scored 9. He had 4 assists, though, and 6 rebounds. Hughes scored a team-high 22 for Syracuse, followed by Buddy with 16, but it was older brother Jimmy Boeheim that impressed the most, leading all scorers with 25, hitting 7 for 16 for Cornell. Now, Joe, ugly game. Sometimes when I watch these games, I don't know exactly what we take away from them or what exactly we're supposed to talk about.
Right.
But Cornell kept it close because Jimmy put the team on his shoulders, basically. And it shouldn't surprise anyone for that period of time that it was close. And it shouldn't surprise anyone that he knows how to knows some tricks around the zone. And he did get to the foul line a bunch, 9 for 11 from there. So he's a great player, man. He's getting better and better. He's getting better and better.
Well, yeah. His dad obviously mentioned it, and his point average has gone up every year. And he's a decent-sized kid, and he can move through the lane pretty well.
He grew 2 inches.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, what did they say? He's like 6'8" or something right now.
6'8" now, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, he definitely had a good game, and obviously Cornell, they kept it, it was a little too close for comfort for a while. Those are the games you don't want to, you don't expect it like that, because usually we have a slow start, right? And last night we didn't. I even texted you, and we're shooting good. In the beginning we were. We scored, 16 points in the first 6.5, 7 minutes. And then we proceeded to score only 10 more points for the next 13 minutes of the first half.
Yeah.
So obviously those scoring lulls that we go through, and when you see our offense struggling against the Cornell defense, it obviously,
makes you worry a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely makes you worry a little bit, because there's going to be bigger, faster, stronger athletes down the road, right?
Yeah.
So that was definitely a little worrisome, and going into the half only up 1. Once our game was over, I turned the channel and I saw North Carolina was down 1 to Elon at halftime. So obviously the first half doesn't matter. Tale of two halves in these games obviously happens a lot. Really, you just look to see how they come out of the half and how they finish. And I think that obviously we eventually did that. I don't think we covered, or we were really close as far as Vegas goes.
We did not.
Was it half a point, right? It was like 19.5, right?
I'm not sure. James Zuba, he's in fan feedback. He mentioned it.
Yeah, so it was really close. But it was good to see them come out. And even obviously in the second half early, it still was a little close. But we ended up getting on a run. The second team, or the bench guys that came in the second time around in the second half, particularly Guerrier, played a lot better. And again, you saw flashes of what he might be able to produce. Looks like he has a nice little shooting stroke. So looks like he just needs to get the defense down, get the confidence, especially the same thing with Bryson Goodine as well. So
he was really he was a little sloppy. So
and it's going to be interesting to see, because Boeheim, he did mention it in his press conference that Howard Washington and possibly Braswell
get some burn.
Playing good in practice, they might get some burns. So I kind of thought that might have happened in this game, but maybe because of how close it was, he kind of kept it, kind of close to the cuff and kind of with those guys. But those guys are definitely going to have to play better as far as coming off the bench for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But what do you make of? Not any that you make of anything of it, but it's obviously Joe was a little bit cold with the shots, but he does the little things, like when Mark knows when to stop shooting, and he does his things, and Joe never quit doing all the little things that he would normally do when he's shooting with a hot hand, and so I will say though that it's another one of those games that's hard to judge because you got the coach's son, who knows the zone. I mean, he grew up with his father,
right,
and he can go into practice and they could prepare for this game better than they can prepare for many other games.
Well, yeah,
you still need the athletes, but I'm just saying. I mean, Cornell had that advantage. If you want to give it something.
I mean, I guess with that, it's all individual stuff with being comfortable with it and things like that. And there's no doubt that Jimmy Boeheim does do some things on the offensive end that where he can tell how to beat that zone. And their whole plan of attack, offense and defense, was pretty purposeful. Like you'd see what they were trying to do. They held the ball late into shot clocks, passing it around and trying to get that ball movement. They didn't really have a lot of turnovers. They minimized the turnovers, and on defense, they basically said, "Beat us with the 3."
Yeah,
and I just think that we could have probably. I mean, we had a lot of good looks where we missed them, but then I think we could have set up for better shots.
A lot of shots early in the shot clock.
Right.
Especially after Cornell's going down and taking it down within 5 seconds. They had few shot clock violations, maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And, and there's certain, like I said, again, when you look at certain things to worry about as well, too, again, I know Gerard, he definitely, I mean, he rebounded well on defense out of that guard position, which, helps against those offensive rebounds. And he definitely, got the open guys the balls, got them good looks and stuff like that. But again, the one thing that you don't see as well, I mean, the only penetration I've seen with the ball is either Elijah Hughes or Dolzaj, right? So I'm worried that the better athletes in better schools are going to give our 2 guards a little bit of a tough time, especially considering they're still just young as far as freshman and sophomore. So those are just some of the things that I definitely worry about. It was cause for concern coming from Cornell, but they had a good game plan, and Cornell, Ivy League schools, smart kids, so they implemented it and they kept it close. I mean, we were missing shots, but again, if we make some of those open shots, then I mean, this game is never even really close.
Yeah, and part of it, I think it was a little lazy because you get in these games and you feel like, well, this team's not real good. Let's try a couple of these. Let's try a couple of,
especially the way we started, right?
Yeah, and it's just like, right. And so they just follow suit. We're like, oh, well, this is working. Well, let's keep doing it. And then it doesn't work. And then they just keep doing it because it was working. And then it's just like, okay, at some point you got to just switch it up. And they didn't switch it up until they got into the locker room. And it's like, okay, you need to try to work this inside a little bit, which it worked. So anyway, that's why I don't know what to take out of these games because I don't know like how solid the game plan actually is. It's so off the cuff sometimes with Syracuse basketball,
Right. Well, especially again these non-conference games, we also know traditionally that these are the games where he's trying to mess around, get his rotations, gain confidence for people like Guerrier and Godin because Edwards, because he knows he's going to need minutes from those guys. So these games usually aren't normally coached like you're going against a conference team. Usually you get a little bit more rotation and subs, and it was unfortunate, obviously, tonight that we couldn't kind of get a good lead early so that we could have played some of those other guys.
Well, it was last night, but all right.
Oh, sorry.
Have you not slept? Were you that excited? Okay.
Jeez.
All right. Hey, what do you say we do some fan feedback? You about that? Are you about that?
Let's do it.
All right.
I'm about that.
Okay, let's do it.
It's time to hear from you, the loudmouths from the Loud House.
All right, y'all know what to do. I propose a question at the end of every game to give your thoughts on the game. You see that, you give your thoughts. That's all. It's that simple. So we're gonna
too easy.
It's too easy, and We like some originality. I know these early games are tough. They're not only tough, but they're hard to draw a crowd, especially at 9:30 at night. But we got a couple. You guys did all right. But before we get into all that fun stuff, oh yeah, it's that time again.
Yeah.
It's time to talk about Blue Chew. All right. You want to increase your performance, get extra confidence in bed, guys, gals? Listen up. This is what you got to do. You got to go to BlueChew.com. That's blue like the color. Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredient as Viagra and Cialis, so you know it works. You can take them anytime. That means anytime, around the clock, whenever, day or night, on a full or empty stomach. And since they're chewable, they work up to twice as fast as the pill, so you can be ready whenever the opportunity arises. If you could benefit from extra function and more confidence when it counts, Blue Chew is the fast and easy way to enhance your performance. Most guys talk a good game, but Blue Chew helps you follow through. Blue Chew is prescribed online and ships straight to your door in a discreet package, so no one will know. No in-person doctor's visit, no waiting at the pharmacy, and best of all, no more awkwardness. They're made in the USA, and since Blue Chew prepares and ships direct, they're cheaper than the pharmacy. Right now, we've got a special deal for our listeners. Visit BlueChew.com, that's BLUE Chew.com, and get your first shipment free when you use the special promo code ARMCHAIR. Just pay the $5 shipping. And again, that's Blue Chew, BLUECHEW.com. Use the promo code ARMCHAIR. Try it for free. Just get that $5 shipping. Blue Chew is a better, cheaper, faster choice, and we thank them for sponsoring the podcast. Remember, folks, they don't promise any guaranteed results, and it doesn't say anywhere on there it cures disease. I have to let you know this. Disclosure. So,
Sean's favorite late night snack.
Hey, you can take them anytime, right? Okay, am I going to keep getting dinged on the Blue Chews or what, Joe? Is that all you got? Come on.
Okay. Want a Whamburger?
All right, here we go. What do we got? Let's start. We mentioned James a minute ago, at James Zuba on Twitter. He says somehow Cornell covered, but Syracuse is now 3-1 in games that it scores over 70 points. Okay? Syracuse is also 3-1 in taco time. Coincidence? You decide. Tacos?
Nope.
Tacos, man.
Oh, yeah.
Tacos. So what was the spread? It had to been, what, 19.5?
I thought it was around 19.5 when I saw it, yeah.
All right.
Interesting.
By the way, James coming on here. As soon as we can get James back, James will be back. If anyone cares. So, all right. At Cuse Waterboy. I'm sorry, I was writing something down. At Cuse Waterboy, really need to focus more on working it inside, especially against smaller teams. When the shots aren't falling from deep and we continue to settle for them, it can get ugly. Yes, absolutely. It was getting ugly. Well, hold on. Love seeing Quincy come alive tonight. Though, and the continued progression of JG3, especially hitting free throws. Yo, he's a beast on free throws. That's one super plus of JG3. It's his consistency at the line.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say that tonight it was difficult because of the way that Cornell was kind of packing in their defense. Definitely, they made it definitely difficult to. What's that?
Yeah, all five of them be right there in the paint when you try to do anything.
So. Right, and it's not like our best, most talented offensive player is the power forward of the center, right? So I thought there were some good plays down low. I thought Hughes had a nice pass there to Sidibe that one time. Marek, he had some good plays. And Sidibe, I like the way that he definitely finished around the hoop. I would like to see better consistency from the defensive end. But, yeah, as far as that offense goes, that's kind of what smaller teams do when they're playing against the bigger teams like that, try to pack it in just because, you're not going to obviously create that space voluntarily and give those guys that huge advantage. So,
yeah. At G Plat 7, pretty boring. There didn't seem to be too many people there considering the schools are so close to one another. At least we keep our 40-0 streak going. It gets embarrassing losing to Ivy League. When are we going to get on real TV? Well, Gordon, I don't know. Probably when we head to that tournament. That tournament's at Madison Square Garden, right, Joe?
I believe so, yeah.
So, yeah, that'll be on TV. At Mackie_62. He says, every win is a good win. Yes, Joe.
Barclays Center.
Barclays Center, okay. Ugly first half. And, we see a lot. We should be very used to ugly first halves as Syracuse fans. It just is what it is. I don't know. There's not too many games where they come out strong, fast, and stay that way the entire game. It's just not the style. I don't know what to say. So
No.
Right?
No, you just go through lulls during games where you get hot and then you get a little cold and you get hot. Teams make adjustments. So, yeah, I mean, it's natural. It's natural through the progression of a game.
Alex says, looks like a 7-man rotation and carries out, so Gerard has got to progress fast before ACC play. It's unfortunate, but I think Boeheim has his 7 to run with. He adds also he just wants it to be deeper than 7. And I agree. Coach Jeff agrees. He says, agreed, would like to see Braswell and Edwards contribute in tough situations. Well, we talked about, so, okay. You've got Gary A and you've got Goodine. It's probably likely your 6 and 7, right?
Yeah.
So
no, I mean, Boeheim's given Jesse Edwards.
He didn't play. He played 2 minutes last game. I mean, I'm talking about like significant time.
Right.
I mean, you could even argue against Quincy. He got 7 minutes, I think. So, or not Quincy, excuse me.
No, I guess, I mean, this is the time right now for basically Jesse Edwards to prove to Boeheim that he can either be that sub for Sidibe or it's going to be Dolce. And, he came in for 2 minutes and he made some bad plays, got the ball taken from him, and got taken out. Yep. Yeah. And I think Boeheim, in his post-game press conference,
he mentioned putting Quincy in there.
I'm saying he mentions his thoughts about Jesse Edwards and what happened in the game. So,
well, yeah, we put it in the coach montage, and it was at the beginning of the show where he said basically he's used to playing outside. Well, when we don't have 7-footers on this team that play outside, so if you can't contribute inside, then we're gonna have to move on from. Basically, is what he said in so many words.
Right.
But I want to see 8 too, Alex. I think 8. Okay, we always see 7. It's always 7. It sucks. Joe P says, shots finally started falling in the second half. Good ball movement, good defense. You can already see the rotation sorting itself out. My man, Bobby Braz, isn't in it. Not happy about that. That's my guy, too. I love him, too. And I think he's good.
Everybody loves him.
I know. I thought I was the only one. But, dude, I think he's going to be good, man. That's why when you talk about, like, him, like, entering the transfer portal and all that stuff back before the season started, I was a little upset. Standard Cuse, mediocre at best free throws. Good win. On to the next one. Yeah. The free throws got to get better. I don't know what they are in the year, but they haven't been great in any game. You got Gerard nailing them, and then everybody else is like iffy. And Buddy's okay.
Yeah.
Buddy's okay, but even he's. Well, him
and Elijah are decent as well.
Yeah. So anyway, last one. Is this the last one? Yeah, this is the last one.
No, tell me.
Listen, shut up. It's right here. I got it. It's the last one. Rocco, a bit of a lackadaisical effort at times. The shooting was really poor for most of the game, yet we still scored 70 plus in one going away. Thinking, yeah. Gotta love the raw scoring talent, which leads to that being possible. So, yeah, you score 47, I think it was, in the second half. You score 26 in the first. It wasn't that it was a 1-point game going into the half. It was that we only scored 26 points in 20 minutes. That's what it was for me.
Right. Well, and especially considering how fast we got to 16. Because I believe we got to it was 16-7 or 16-9, and there was I think
good night.
Somewhere around the 13-minute, so.
Sorry. Almost got it.
I think it was more the only scoring 10 points in the last 12, 13 minutes of the first half.
And I will say this, and I don't say this much, but it's true. That game was boring. It was really boring. That first half was like, oh my gosh, come on. I just want to see some cohesion. Let's do this. Stop screwing around.
Yeah, well, again, you can attribute that to Cornell and their game plan and slowing everything down. And
you can.
I mean, that's kind of when a team like Cornell plays against a team like us, then they kind of have to sell out to do one thing, and they kind of have to have a game plan because they're definitely kind of undermanned. They're the underdogs, right? So they slowed it down to minimize our possessions and kind of create frustration. And we're very patient on the offensive end. And as far as defense goes, they chose to pack it down and not allow us to use our height and our strength and just basically say, hey, beat us with the 3-ball.
Yeah. So,
and for a point there, from, about midway through the first half to midway through the second half, we weren't shooting them very well.
No, it was tough. It was tough. The end of the first half was tough. So anyway, that is it. Hey, thanks everybody for contributing to fan feedback. More exciting games produce more exciting fan feedback. I will say that.
I can imagine. Well, the way you're talking about it and everything, and
Go
people
ahead, Joe.
fell asleep.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was
hard to fan feedback when you're sleeping.
Yeah, and I got to be honest, man. I put thoughts on the game, and normally I'll monitor it for about 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes, but I shut it. I just posted it and went to bed. Checked it in the morning. I'm like, man, it didn't produce a whole lot, but oh well.
It's because you weren't monitoring it.
Maybe I should watch it grow. Okay, that's it. Fan feedback in the books. Thanks, guys.
She said.
All right, look. The Orange going to take on the Bison this Saturday, November 23rd at noon on the ACC network, like we mentioned. So the Syracuse Orange and the Bucknell Bison first played in 1915. The two teams did not play for a span of 50 years from 1920 to 1970, and the all-time series sits at 9-1 in favor of the Orange. The single win for the Bison, it came in 05, in an upset in 05. I don't remember that, but look, I looked up the records. So,
but, I think I do remember that actually.
Really, it was an upset, but I don't know if it was if it's anything notable. For some reason, I don't remember. Anyway, Bucknell sits at 2-3 so far this year. Wins over Hofstra in Fairfield.
Got that?
Yeah, I got it. Thanks. Appreciate it.
It's not funny. It's not funny.
It's not. Junior forward John Meeks leads the team in scoring with 13.6 points a game, followed by junior guard Jimmy Sodas. So, Joe.
Yes.
What the hell can you tell us about Bucknell?
No, not too much. They got smoked by Penn State by 28 points. So,
I mean,
that's kind of. I mean, you kind of laid it out there, right there. They don't really have too much height. They have one center that doesn't even really look like he starts. Yeah, he's only 6'9", so I don't know too much about him, honestly. I know that they're in the Patriot League along with Colgate, and usually those have been the top two teams the past couple of years. And realistically, Penn State is the other game in that tournament that we're playing in the Barclays Center. We play against Oklahoma State. And then the other game is Ole Miss versus Penn State. So realistically, this could be a matchup here in a few games against Penn State. So Penn State beat them by 28 at home. Let's see what we can do. Not saying that that's going to be like the tell-all of who's going to win if we do actually play against Penn State, but just saying it's a comparable opponent that we could be playing here shortly. So
yeah,
if they beat them by that much at home, then I would like to assume that we could as well. Every other game they played against has been a pretty close game against pretty much comparable.
What would you compare Bucknell to? I think Colgate's much better than Bucknell, right? Can we say that? Is that fair to say?
I would say that it's fair to say this year. I would just say that that traditionally those two have kind of been the
either one kind of continue.
The last couple years, recently those two teams have been two of the better teams in that conference.
So here's what we know about Bucknell. Their tallest guy is like 6'9", their center, right?
Yeah.
And their guards are okay. They're okay. But they're not great, and they actually lead the team. So, they've lost. They don't have anything to hang their hat on, really. They got smoked by Penn State. They got smoked by a couple other teams. So, I don't know. I don't know what to make of Bucknell. Normally, I have some kind of idea, and normally, there's some literature on them, and there's just really nothing, to be honest with you. I hate to say it, but it's...
Yeah, there really isn't. Yeah, you're right.
So,
there's
anyway.
not too much. There's not too much. I just kind of threw it out there just to see, but looking at Ken Palm's ratings for the first time this year.
Oh, for Bucknell?
I know it's early, but he has Colgate at 136, Bucknell at 144. So he has them as pretty much comparable opponents. I think Cornell's a little bit farther down. He has us at 49.
Okay. That's probably fair right now, I'd say.
Yeah. No,
so,
I'll take it.
Anyway, yeah.
It's too early.
Yeah, whatever. Absolutely. All right. Well, I hope that is going to get you through the week, folks. Sorry about that. Hey,
right. Sorry.
The Louisville pregame for football this Saturday is up, if you want to give that a listen. And that's it. I guess we're going to have another crammed episode next time.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? Yeah, right.
What are we going to be doing? Pretty much two post games and a
pregame again. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Well, hopefully they're going to be as good as the, outcomes of last weekend, and hopefully this game against Bucknell is a little bit more.
But look, here's the exciting thing. Well, look, don't
fall asleep.
I just want to see him get smoked. I'm talking about Bucknell, obviously. I want to see this. I just want to see a show. But, it's all about, honestly, it's all about getting the minutes on the court. It's all about working with the team. That's what this is all about. That's why it's necessary. Sometimes it can be boring, but it is what it is. So
yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I'd rather them win a game by 1 or 2 points against a non-conference team like this, but gain that experience and that on the court and getting those young guys in there versus beating a team by 30 with your experienced guys knowing and doing what you can do at this point, because you have to be able to grow.
Right.
And
we still don't have an identity.
Like Boeheim said, it's not even close to a finished product for the season. So
no, we still don't have an identity. There's really not a true identity to this team yet.
No, you're starting to see it. I do like the way that they move the ball around differently with when Gerard's in there versus what it's been the past however many years. I think he's probably as close to an actual point guard as we've had in recent memory. So
yeah, absolutely. So, all right, everybody. I appreciate it. Thanks for participating in fan feedback, all of you who did. Thanks to manscaped.com. Thanks to bluechew.com. Thank you to Armchair Media. Thank you to James on guitar. For Joe, I'm Sean. We're out.
Thanks for listening to the Cuse Militia Podcast, the fan's voice with Sean and Joe.